The Buffalo Bills linebacker coach Bobby Babich just gave his press conference interview discussing this middle linebacker competition for the Buffalo Bills, as well as a sit-down interview with AJ Klein with Chris Brown and Steve Tasker, revealing so much about who could potentially start for Bills Mafia. Welcome to my channel here, Bills News Consolidated. We got to discuss it. Terrel Bernard, Tyrel Dodson, Baylon, Spector, Darian Williams, AJ Klein, all competing for that middle linebacker spot. Who is it going to be for Bills Mafia here? And a perfect question was proposed to AJ Klein, who was once a rookie under Sean McDermott with the Carolina Panthers, tasked with being a middle linebacker. And he was specifically asked how that was starting, like understanding that role as a rookie middle linebacker. How hard was it learning that entire playbook? And AJ Klein said it's really not that bad because things are grouped on this defense. Once you learn one base scheme or one base defensive playbook here under McDermott, they all kind of translate across the board. But it's a matter of getting guys lined up, having those defensive fronts set, and just communication between the safeties, other linebackers, the defensive line, the cornerbacks. And that's where Bobby Babich came in during his interview here, and he flat out said the first and most important thing here is getting guys lined up, understanding what everyone around them is doing, making sure that you're calling the right play. And I think the Buffalo Bills really need to understand that going forward. And knowing that we have guys here like AJ Klein, Tyrel Dodson, Terrel Bernard, and Baylon Spector all being here under Sean McDermott for a little bit of time, probably have a little bit of a leg up than Darian Williams. But he also did mention it's a couple of not only understanding and aligning guys up in this defense, but it's also being able to be an athlete, use your instincts to fly around and make plays. He said he wants this to be an opportunity versus a challenge. Whoever they put in there and start, they don't want it to be a challenge. They want it to be an opportunity. They want that player to be ready for this opportunity, to rise to this occasion, to be surrounded by talent, probably the best opportunity in the NFL right now. Trey White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, Von Miller in this defensive line, Matt Milano. It's so awesome. And Bobby Babich went on to state that the importance of having two matchup linebackers. Obviously, right now we have Matt Milano. He can match up on running backs, tight ends, even wide receivers, right? And I think having two of those guys is crucial for the Bills. And we've seen it the past several years. Even Bobby Babich said it. Tremaine Edmunds is not a matchup type linebacker. You know, wide receivers, running backs, they can outrun, they can outpace Tremaine Edmunds, especially in man coverage. I know the Bills run zone, but it's like a zone man match coverage. So if a player runs across your face, you basically turn away from zone and turn it into man and play that man coverage. So you have to be able to match up and be able to cover these tight ends. And they even stated that's exactly why we drafted Dalton Kincaid, to be a matchup problem against opposing teams' linebackers. So knowing that, Bills transitioning away from Tremaine Edmunds. I've been saying it for weeks now. The Bills have Josh Allen, the best quarterback in the NFL, Stephon Diggs in this offense, trying to run up the score on a weekly basis, forcing teams away from running the ball, forcing teams to pass to try to run up the score to keep up with the Buffalo Bills. Well, now we have the answer on defense. More of a pass coverage type linebacker. Each and every single one of them are probably better in pass coverage than Tremaine Edmunds, just because Tremaine Edmunds was so tall and lanky, so hard to change direction. Well, now we have guys like Tyrel Dodson, Terrel Bernard, Baylon Spector, Darian Williams at a 4.4940, probably the fastest out of them all. So really, what is it going to be? You have to understand this defense. You have to understand and set the defensive fronts. You have to understand what all the players are doing around you, and you have to verbally communicate Sean McDermott's defense to the rest of the team. Will Sean McDermott, in his first year calling plays for the Buffalo Bills, trust a rookie, Darian Williams? And hearing Bobby Babich say they don't want it to be a challenge, I don't know if Darian Williams is going to be able to earn it. And they said they're not going to put a timetable on it. Everyone is going to compete. They're not worried about limiting snaps and reps for everybody. They said once a decision is made, they're going to find out and they're going to determine who that is, and they're going to get the majority of snaps. And they feel as though at that time it's going to be enough. There'll be plenty to determine who should be starting for the Buffalo Bills. But really, Tyrel Dodson has been here the absolute longest. And I think he has the most athleticism in this scheme. He has the highest potential to make the biggest impact for the scheme. And then you have AJ Klein, clearly dating back to Carolina. He's been with Sean McDermott. Even them stating that AJ Klein asked questions that are on just the next level, even helping the coaches out, AJ Klein, and being surrounded by talent like Luke Kuechly and Shaq Thompson in Carolina. So I think AJ Klein clearly has the most experience, has the most veteran leadership on this team, but up in age, a little bit slower, maybe has higher instincts than them all. So maybe AJ Klein steals the show and starts for Bills Mafia. You know, maybe not the matchup coverage type linebacker. Hearing Bobby Babich say you need 2 matchup cover linebackers, that's ideal. So I think that would definitely be a problem. Then you have Terrel Bernard, right? And I think Terrel Bernard lacks the size, overall size, and I think he lacks a little bit of change direction. Like his top end speed is fast, but his change of direction ability could definitely improve. His back pedal is pretty nice. But Terrel Bernard and also Baylon Spector, only 1 year under their belt. Baylon Spector, to me, is a little bit change of direction. He's a little bit smaller, too, and shorter than Terrel Bernard. But Bobby Babich said they don't care about the measurables. They say sometimes players play bigger than what they are. They're looking at the game film. They're seeing how that player impacts this team. So I think Baylon Spector is the biggest question mark out of this entire group here. Could definitely win the competition here. Has a great change of direction, fluid back pedal, unbelievable fundamentals when you watch his game here. You know, if he can learn this defense, right? If he spent this offseason learning this defense, making sure all his alignments are set, if he can get anywhere close to Tyrel Dodson. I mean, Dodson was brought in 2020. So he's been sitting behind Tremaine Edmunds, filled in for Tremaine Edmunds 2 games last year, did an excellent job. And I really think this competition is going to be ferocious. We have Bobby Babich there, next safety coach, clearly helping this middle linebacker be better in pass coverage. We have Al Holcomb, the linebacker coach in Carolina, now the Buffalo Bills defensive assistant. You have Sean McDermott coming from Carolina, drafting Luke Kuechly and Shaq Thompson and all these guys. So I think we clearly have an eye for talent at the linebacker spot, and we're definitely going to get to this guy very fast. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please hit like, subscribe. Appreciate every single one of you. Go Bills.